Imagine your brain never forgot a single thing. Not the name of your third-grade substitute teacher, not the exact shade of the shirt you wore last Tuesday, and certainly not the precise, agonizing sting of every awkward thing you've ever said in an elevator. You might think this is a superpower. You envision yourself acing every exam, winning every trivia night, and becoming a walking, talking version of the Library of Alexandria. But in the world of biology, there is no such thing as a free lunch. To the human brain, forgetting isn't a glitch. It's the most important feature you have. Without it, your mind doesn't become a library. It becomes a landfill. The honeymoon. Day 1 to day 7. It's day 1 and you feel like a god. Your brain is suddenly operating with what scientists call hyperthymsia, or highly superior autobiographical memory. At breakfast, you read the entire newspaper. Normally, 90% of those facts would evaporate before you even finished your coffee. Not today. Every statistic, every typo in the classifieds, and every name in the obituaries is now etched into your temporal lobe with the permanence of a diamond engraving. By day 3, you are the most interesting person in every room. You can quote movies you haven't seen in a decade, word for word. You remember the exact PIN number for a debit card you canceled in 2014. Your friends are impressed, but you're starting to notice something strange. Your internal world is getting loud. See, usually your brain is a master of pruning. Imagine your mind is a garden. Most of what you experience, the color of a stranger's shoes, the sound of a car passing by, is a weed. Your brain normally cuts those weeds down so the flowers, the important stuff, can grow. But for you, the pruning shears have snapped. Every weed is being treated like a prize-winning rose. If you've ever wished you could remember everything you've ever studied, like this video, because by the end of the week, you're going to wish you could forget how to breathe. The shift, week 2 to month 1. To understand the nightmare that's brewing inside your skull, I spent the last week diving into dozens of neurological case studies, including the famous case of Patient S, a man who literally could not forget. His doctors found that his brain was constantly running hot, consuming massive amounts of glucose just to maintain the sheer volume of useless data he was storing. By week 2, the honeymoon is officially over. The input bias of your biological hardware is starting to fail. Your brain is a physical object with limited space and limited energy. Think of it like a computer hard drive. If you fill a hard drive to 99% capacity, the computer doesn't just stop saving files, it slows down to a crawl. The cursor lags, applications crash. For you, this lag manifests as a complete inability to prioritize.
What happened?
When someone asks you, how was your day,
Something must have happened.
Your brain doesn't give you a summary. It gives you a real-time playback. You can't just say, it was fine. You have to mentally wade through the 4,000 different sensory inputs you experienced between 8 a.m. and 8:05 a.m. The smell of the toasted bagel, the flickering of the fluorescent light, the itchy sensation of your left sock, they are all shouting at the same volume. You are losing the ability to think abstractly. To understand a concept like dog, your brain usually ignores the specific details of every dog you've ever seen and keeps only the dogness. But you can't do that. You don't see a dog. You see a golden retriever named Buster from 1998, a stray mutt from 2005, and a cartoon pug from a billboard, all at once. Your world is shattering into a billion tiny, unmanageable pieces. The crash, month 2 to month 6. By month 3, you have entered a state of permanent cognitive overload. Your brain is working overtime, burning through ATP, the body's energy currency, at a rate that leaves you physically exhausted. You are sleeping 12 hours a day, but you wake up tired because even in your dreams, the filing cabinets are overflowing. The horror here isn't just the data, it's the emotions. When a normal person remembers a traumatic event from 5 years ago, the emotional buffer of time has filed the edges down. The memory is there, but the physiological response, the racing heart, the sweaty palms, is muffled. But for you, there is no 5 years ago. Every bad memory is happening right now. When you remember a breakup, your body floods with the exact same level of cortisol and adrenaline as the moment it happened. You are experiencing every grief, every embarrassment, and every physical pain you've ever felt simultaneously in high definition. This is the running hot concept taken to its most brutal extreme. Your nervous system is trapped in a feedback loop of chronic stress. Your hippocampus, the part of the brain responsible for indexing memories, is physically swelling. Your prefrontal cortex, which handles decision-making, is effectively paralyzed. You can't choose what to eat for lunch because the memory of every sandwich you've ever eaten is competing for your attention. Imagine watching 10,000 television screens at once, all playing different movies at full volume, and someone is screaming at you to pick your favorite scene. You can't. You simply collapse into a catatonic state, staring at a wall while your mind eats itself alive. Before we see the final fate of your overclocked mind, hit subscribe to keep your own brain's delete button functioning perfectly. The aftermath, 1 year later. If you were to look at an MRI of your brain after a year of never forgetting, you wouldn't see a super brain. You would see a brain that looks like it's been through a war. The chronic stress has likely shrunk your amygdala and damaged your heart. The reality is that the man who could not forget in real life, Patient S, eventually found it almost impossible to read a book. Why? Because as he read a sentence, every single word would trigger a landslide of related memories. He couldn't follow a plot because he was too busy remembering the 500 different meanings of the word green. He eventually ended his life in an asylum, desperate for the one thing we all take for granted: silence.
The human body was designed for survival, not for storage. We are built to filter, to discard, and to move on. Forgetting is the brain's way of taking out the trash. Without that garbage disposal, your identity, the you that exists, gets buried under a mountain of irrelevant noise. You become a ghost in your own machine, a passenger in a vehicle that's traveling too fast to ever stop. Ultimately, we are the sum of what we remember, but we are also defined by what we choose to let go. Perfection is a prison, and a perfect memory is a life sentence. If you had to choose one single day of your life to remember in 100% perfect detail, which day would it be? Tell me in the comments, and maybe appreciate the fact that you'll probably forget this video by tomorrow.